Hey artist, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about how to prepare your canvas to get it primed for making quality art. There are two different types of canvases that you can buy in the art store. It can be already pre-primed or you will have to prime it yourself. For example, I have one right here. It's a 3D light canvas. It's a cotton canvas, so it's pretty affordable. It's good when you're a beginner or intermediate painter, or if you start selling but you're not at very high prices. Cotton canvases are a really good way to go for that type of art. And this one is pre-primed, which means it already has 3 layers and it's written on it, so you just have to check the label. I can prime it one more time if I want to, but it's not completely necessary. So why do we prime our canvases? For the simple reason that, let's say if you have your bare linen or bare cotton cloth and you paint directly on it, it's going to absorb your paint, it's going to be less resistant through time, and you're actually going to see the light go through your painting. So that's a sign of low quality art. So that's why we prime it 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times if you feel like it, to make kind of like this opaque layer on top of it, and when you paint on top it won't go through that primed layer and on your canvas. If your canvas isn't already primed, what you can do is buy gesso and then put 1, 2, 3 or 4 layers if you feel like it. I usually do 2 and it's just fine, and start painting on that directly. So I'm going to show you in the next part of this video how you do that. If you don't know me, my name is Julie. I'm an acrylics painter. I post essentially all my content on my Instagram, and I started this channel recently where I'm going to post every week a video how to paint or just tips of how to become an artist and acrylics in general. So if that are topics that interest you, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and hit the bell to be sure to not miss the next video. Alright, so back at it. I'm going to show you right now how to prime your canvas and treat this canvas that, as I've told you, is already primed, but as if it wasn't primed, and I'm just going to put layers of gesso on it with my splatter. Before actually priming your canvas, what you're going to need to do is actually put the wooden keys that you can see are hung behind your canvas right here, and put them in the slots that you have in each corner of your canvas. This is going to be very useful to stretch the canvas on your frame. We're going to do that by hitting with a little tiny hammer on the wooden keys that you placed before you started painting, all right? So you place them before. I've heard different ways on how to place them. I'm going to show you how I do it and how I place them in the little slots right here. Okay, so let's get right into it. First, I'm going to take the plastic off. Be careful when you do this. Don't take the plastic off necessarily, especially with big canvases on your easel, because you don't want it to scrape the surface or damage your canvas. So what I like to do is start taking it off and kind of, you know, tilt it a little bit so that it doesn't touch anything else. I'm just going to take this little bag with the wooden keys, put it gently on my easel. So as you can see, there are 8 keys in my little plastic bag, and they're all going to go in the slots that I showed you before. As I said earlier, I put them in a certain way. I've seen most people do it that way. I've heard some artists talk to me about putting it the other way, but honestly, I've heard that only one time, so I just keep doing it like I'm doing it, and it's just fine that way. So I'm going to take the little beveled part right here and put it on the exterior of the wood. So I'm going to try and show you a close-up. See how there's one part that is against the canvas and one part that is more of the exterior, and I just start by putting the one that's furthest away from me. And so I will take my little wooden key, put it that way with the beveled part on the exterior, and just, you know, slide it over here and put it in the slot. And I just push it a little bit, but not too much. And then I put my second one. So same thing. I'm going to slide it and place it like that. Okay, and that's it. I just do this on all 4 corners, and in like before an art show, or before you want to show this canvas, or if you feel like it's a little unstretched, you can just push it a little bit further in, and it will push the wood here. See how the frame is connected together here? Well, it'll push it a little bit, and that will stretch the canvas a little bit more. If it's really tight, you can take a little hammer and really gently tap it on each wood parts on each corners. When I put them in, I try to take my canvas again away from my easel. If your canvas doesn't come with this little bag, know that you can actually buy these wooden keys separately, but according to your canvas, it might not always be the same size and the same thickness of wood and of slots, so it's better to buy canvases that come with the little baggies. Alright, and that's it. All my wooden keys are placed in their slots, and now we can prime it. Okay, so to prime my canvas, I'm going to use some gesso, as I showed you earlier. This is something to prime it. See how it says number 1, prepare your canvas. So on this one specifically, theoretically, I wouldn't need to do that because it's already primed. And you can see that my canvas is, well, first of all, it's really white and it's already kind of smooth. So that's how you can see that I don't have to put some on it, and it's not that see-through. It's a little bit see-through, and that's normal, and that's why when I sketch, I'm gonna put multiple layers to really make my my painting opaque in the end. But to show you, I'm still going to prime it one time. So this is what it looks like. And I'm going to take one of my favorite splatters that, as you can see, is kind of old already because it's starting to get a little blue. So I'm going to have to start to think about changing it. What I do before priming is I, take my brush and kind of try and take out all the dust or things that's maybe in it, and see if there's some loose hair in it that will get off. And then I just start priming. So I take some gesso, just like this, and I will apply it on all my surface. So you don't have to be extremely neat about this part, except if you really want to go into details later on, where that part you're going to have to make it really smooth and all. But I know that my paintings are, pretty textured, so if you can see the brush strokes, it's not very important because, well, I'm going to layer it up and you really won't see any of this later on. So I apply it first vertically and then horizontally. The only important thing is that you get some equally everywhere on your canvas. And then once I've made my smooth surface, see how I'm still trying to get a little smooth to do something neat for you. I'm gonna have some excessive gesso on the sides, and so I'm just going to kind of scrape it off like this to make it as smooth as possible. Here's a closer look of the excess of gesso that you can have on the top, and I'm just going to smooth it out. See there? And I'm going to do this on every side. So see how this is a good example of a canvas that is not well stretched. So when I see this, I'm just going to take my wooden keys and push them in a little further so I won't have this kind of dent like this, because this is not pretty and it's going to create shades at the end of my painting, and it's better to have it stretched right now than to paint on it, because when the paint is going to dry, it's going to contract itself a little bit and then it's going to be hard to stretch it a lot more. So it's good to start painting on an already really well stretched canvas. So now I'm just going to let that dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to restretch that little dent over here, and then theoretically you can do this 2 to 3 times depending on the canvas that you bought, and then I'm all ready to start painting. I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, just put it in the comment box and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. Alright, I think I showed you everything. It's really simple. There's not a lot of things to think about, really only to prime your canvas for your painting to not go through the canvas, and put the wooden keys behind them and you're good to go. Start sketching that painting and start creating amazing art. Alright, if you watch till the end, write in the comments section, I am ready to make some quality art. Let's do this. You can go check out my tutorials to learn how to paint an oceanscape or paint a wave right here. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!